I titled this video, "This Makes Me So Angry." And I'm going to ask everybody to subscribe right away, because if this makes you angry and it makes me angry, then we have a handful of things that we're going to have in common. You'll probably want to subscribe to the Hiller Fit Training channel, as I basically only talk about explicitly Reddit stuff at this point on these live shows. I sit in this chair and I look for inspiration, and I've been inspired. This is absolutely crazy, and it's actually going to riff off kind of a concept that I had on the main channel yesterday when it came to the World Fitness Project and their acronymization, which is a word I just made up. Acronymization. Morning, Daniel. Sup, homie? All right, this is it. This is Reddit. For everybody who doesn't know that this is actually my name, I think I'm the only one on Reddit who has their legitimate name. Ken, Tony, Fusion, Ed, Emma, sup. Good morning. Let me know if this makes you guys angry as well. This Reddit user, Johnny, or John, SSC1, woke up to this unnamed accessory this morning. This looks like it's in the Train Heroic platform, which is a subpar platform when compared to Wodify, which, as I've said recently, I think that the Wodify app is crazy. Check it out. When I open this thing up, I've done this before, I'm going to do it again. You open it up, and it shows you my little logo, which I think is sick. And it brings you into a spot where at the bottom, I can go to the Facebook group, this YouTube channel, Instagram, home, and the workout. And I spend, this is why it makes me so angry, and this is why I'm going to show you. I spend so much time writing everything out. Is that inverted? Could you read that? I don't think you could read that. But look at all these notes, guys. That's one workout's worth of notes. Also, I write back squat in every single spot that it freaking can be written, because some people might not know what BS is. They might be thinking you're talking about something else, some obscenity, some swear word, some sort of poop of an animal, a poop variety of animal, large poop, large amounts of poop. So when I bring back this, 75 TH for time. What are you talking about? Where's the C? Are we smoking? 75 what? DBs, Daniel Brandons, or Buttery Bros? 5 burpee. Are you talking about burpees? Nothing's capital. You put a star at the beginning of it, but not at the end of it. You put a comma in the after a minute for no reason whatsoever, including the start of what? 3, 2, 1, go. You're doing 5 burpees. That's also not the way that, if this person's correct and we go to the bottom here, there's somebody here who goes, what does TH stand for? Thrusters? Okay, let's say we're doing thrusters. Edit. I guess it's a slightly easier version of Kelsey. Today, it's probably the hardest workout that they've ever done. Yes, that's correct. That is true. Kelsey is like the hardest freaking workout of all time. Is it Kelly Jackson that did that thing under 10 minutes, which is wicked? And it's 100 thrusters for time, 135 for the men, 95 for the women, and 10 burpees at the top of every minute. You start with the thrusters. You don't start with the burpees. But anyway, the original commenter, yes. It's basically 3/4 Kelsey. Very rarely do we have to go vertical after a workout, but this was definitely one of them. I had RX, as like the worst. Okay, never mind. And of course, I commented that it makes me angry. And this is why we're here. It made me so angry that I commented this 1 minute ago and just fired up this live stream to riff about it a little bit. But let's go back to the top. Number one, it's wrong if it's a version of Kelsey. Number one, how much time and who writes these programs? There are people out there, John SSC1 being one of them, who are spending their well-earned money on somebody who can't freaking take the time to write out thrusters. And I have so many rabbit holes that I can go down with this. But a program with a person writing the program and won't take the time in to write RUSTERS after TH isn't a program worth spending $1 on. It's an embarrassment to everybody in the functional fitness world, CrossFit in specific. It's this morning, Alexis goes, because I program all this stuff, I write all this stuff, and it takes me hours every week, hours and hours and hours. I was up until 12:45 a.m. yesterday writing workouts to make sure that they were in so that everybody had as early of access as possible to them so they can prepare for the week ahead. And this is why I'm so angry about it because this son of a has somebody who's coming to Reddit to get answers. Like, what is the answer to this question? Could you imagine being somebody who writes a workout for people and needing your members to go to Reddit to answer the questions, the things that they're paying you to be advised upon? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, yeah. Okay. And Daniel, you're reminding me. This morning, Alexis goes, wrong muscle ups. Haha. And I lost it. I'm like, did I write wrong? R-U-N-G? They're supposed to say ring muscle ups. On the keyboard, everyone knows the I is right next to the U. And I'm like, did I miss keystroke the I versus the U? And she goes, it's in the notes. And I go, it still doesn't matter. Like, I messed up the freaking notes. I wrote wrong muscle ups, losing my mind. And I told you I was going to riff on the World Fitness Project stuff a little bit as well. Can you imagine? And Taylor talked about this on their show yesterday. And I've talked about it a little bit in the initial live stream that I did on the main channel. It was the whole Cal Echo Bike. And you start screaming because there's some capital, there's some not capital. And if you want to look at the most obscene thing, it's that CrossFit's been doing the Open since 2011, I think was the first year of the Open. I don't think it was 2010. I think 11's the year where they had a sixth workout, 11.6. And this is just lazy. I'm pulling them up again. More free advertisement for the stupid fitness finals. Cal, write out calorie. Just write out calorie for the love of all that is holy. At least they wrote toes to bar and they didn't write TTB. In there's more in here. C2 bike. This is the one. In Pro Event 1, they wrote Cal Bikerd. In Event 2, in the finals, they're writing C2 bike. And then in Event 2, they wrote Concept 2 bike. So that they wrote the same sort of implement of bike. Not only do they have it in 3 workouts, which is insane, when it's supposed to be looked at as a whole. You're right. You have the C2 bike at every single workout, but you're also calling it something different. There's no continuality amongst it. And this is something that I've talked about it at length almost. The continuality of, and it's what I brought up when it came to 11.6. I know there's different handstand push-up standards, and it's almost like they're trying to figure out the handstand push-up standard. But a blue duck is a blue duck is a blue duck. And they're people who have been given far more money than whomever that program with the TH that brought us here had been given to write whatever that was. And it's all of the same accord. It's when people like me, this is the wrong one. I was looking up a dummy battery for my camera on Reddit. I guess I got rid of the other Reddit thread. Doesn't matter. What do we got? Continuality, but fawning over caps. It's both. I am both upset about the continuality within their own season and what they're calling the C2 bike and the caps. Does that make sense? And the fact that they're writing Cal. It's unless you're an indoctrinated CrossFitter, which they said that they have their own World Fitness Project community. They're not talking about the CrossFit community. They're certainly not pulling from the CrossFit community. But when you say things like Cal and SAOH squats, like who are you talking to if not everything that you're potentially pulling from? Like they show their hand every single chance that they get. What's not a word? Cal is not a word. I'm looking at the comments now to see if I want to say anything or talk about anything before I just sign off. Misspelling is accidental, shortcuts are on purpose. This is a great point. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make an excuse for, I don't want Keeping It Real to make an excuse for me either, but it's the thing that when I see the U in the notes section, not even in the headline, it's almost like a paragraph, and it's like deep into a paragraph. You've got the main paragraph, which breaks everything down, and then you have everything describing it. I wrote wrong. drove me nuts. The Nopin is gone, Kenneth. No more Nopin. Okay. This is a great point. Tyler Watkins. I'm going to reprogram. That's another thing on the agenda. I figure when it comes to things such as the video I made yesterday, when I'm going to be overly critical, it's only fair if I pull my pants down in front of everybody. What would it look like if I wrote the World Fitness Project 3-stopped event along with the finals? And I have a really good idea about what I want that to look like. So I have to pull my pants down in front of everybody. No, Nopin. Nopin. Yes, Ed always calls me out on spelling. There's usually like one a week. Okay. In 13 minutes, Kill Taylor's on. So I know there's a handful of you guys who will go on over there. Taylor Self, $5,000. Paper Street Coffee. Gabe's a good dude. I really liked the Nopin. I'm a one-man team who had a lot of people who were really helpful on the judge's end. The judging assistants that I had on the Nopin was just like, couldn't have done it without the Nopin people. Judges. But we're doing the beat page and stuff. That's kind of the new iteration of it. And I don't know. I like things to have an end goal. Like, what's the end goal of the Nopin other than at that point, there was the point to show that there was potentially a better series of tests to show fitness. That was my intention of that. And that like one person in the garage could run the thing, and for what ended up being a couple thousand, I think it was like a couple thousand people who signed up for that, which was neat. Yes, I know there needs to be more beep agents. The thing is, the dude is in. I'm going to do an entire show on this. The dude is in season right now, Grant. So like, I did not want to do that bike for everybody because like people know exactly how the bike's going to go. But the dude's like, hey, you chose the first one. I'm going to choose the second one. And also, I can only work for like 2 minutes at most. So, and he knew he'd be on quick. Yeah, I've seen The Room. Kind of slow. It's a fine movie. Yeah, 1 leaderboard. All right. That was really cool. And it's the only one that I've really seen like that. And that guys, that's the thing about, and this is the thing that I've already thought about this when it comes to how I'm going to program my own version of how I think that the World Fitness Project should have done their 3 stops, is that even without Fusion Games having said this, why is it cool that there was 1 leaderboard? Because it's never been done before. And it's the Billy Madison quote that I've now said 3 or 4 times in the past couple of live videos. I just wanted to see a blue duck. I want to see what would happen if all the men and the women were on the same leaderboard. I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could program workouts where it wasn't completely blatantly obvious that either one gender or the other had an advantage, the men or the women. So when you see, and I think this is what Tyler alluded to a little bit, it's basically, and they said it also in the show yesterday with JR, Bryson, and Taylor, the DNA of Dave Castro is all over the World Fitness Project. It's all over everything in the world right now, whether or not you like it. He's like freaking Darwin, not Darwin. Adam and Eve. I don't know. I got nothing. All right. Now you have 10 minutes to go see Kill Taylor. And now I'm just sitting here talking. Thanks for being here, guys. I want to talk about that Reddit post. If you're a programmer, number one, if you are still here at this point, there's 48 people on channel number 2. So that's sick. What's up? How are you? If you are not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Please and thank you. If anything I've said in here resonates with you, it will happen again. There will also be things that don't resonate with you. And at which rate, I wish you would just comment and start agitating the beehive. Thank you. And if you are in a program that's writing TH for a workout where now you are assuming it's thrusters, ditch that program, sign up for my program. There will be a link in the description in like 30 seconds after this. It's andrewhiller.wodify.com. It's pretty easy. I'll pull it up. andrewhiller.wodify.com. I was emailing one of my old members yesterday. His name is Chris. And Chris is like, hey, you still coaching? I'm like, I don't really work with anybody in person anymore. I don't have time. But I do program. And he goes, oh, can I do it? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of written for everyone plus. And it really made me think about what I said. It's a exaggeration of what I was talking about on the John Wellborn video with Rich Froning. You got the bell curve, and like everyone falls in the middle, like 68 to 70% of people fall in the middle, and mine are supposed to be like right here. And there's 46 or so % of them who sit right here. I think that a lot of programs are kind of written for this or for this, and you're going for the lowest or the highest common denominator. And I think it should be written for the middle. And like once you've decided that you're better or worse than the middle, then you should decide, not the other way around. And actually, there's this. I got one more thing for you. Zach. Zach is the coach of Elizabeth Wishart. And I spent a lot of time talking to him when I was over with Liz Holiday. Why can't I find him? Come on, nice. He put up this story, and it's great. I don't know who needs to hear this, and you guys probably, I don't know who needs to hear this, but those who do Mayhem Programming are not doing the same programming as Froning, and those who do Proven are not doing the same programming as Tia. He has looked at both, is what he said. And the dude has a lot of hot takes, and he kind of reminds me of the things that I would really, really think way back when. And I like seeing stuff like that because it reminds me of that version of me. Like, I loved following What's Rich Doing when Rich released it because it was what Rich was doing 2 or 3 weeks behind, if I recall. And I could do it, and I could imagine like how quick he was doing it. And sometimes you would even see him doing those workouts in hindsight, retrospect on his Instagram. It's like, hey, I did that workout. I did that workout 50% slower than he did. I don't know if that's ever been the case for Tia. And I don't know if that's ever been the case for Matt. Doesn't Matt have a 1-year cycle that maybe he repeats year over year, or he sells as a 1-year piece, but it's never been like his 1 year. So when it comes to like, and I'm not a big fan of talking up my own stuff, but dude, it's what I did this morning with Alexis. I write it for me and the people whom I think are going to be the most capable within my own program. So I'm thinking of like the Daniels, the Grants, the Natalies, the Crystals, the Baileys. I'm thinking of all these people, and I'm looking at all their scores. I'm thinking about what my people, my thousands of people that have gone through my affiliate doors, and I'm like kind of concocting all of these things. And I just wonder what these other coaches are thinking when they write their workouts. And it exasperates all the way down into like the TH on a thruster. I just feel like I would be slapping all of those people I named in the face if I didn't do the weekly live stream where I gave them the opportunity to talk and ask me, like, what is TH? If I had written TH. And then, oh my gosh. HWPO is definitely one of the worst ones out there, maybe better than CompTrain and NCFit. The program, and I mentioned this in a video recently, that after I was done as the head coach, owner, player, coach of my affiliate, flipped over into was NCFit. I paid pretty close attention to that and their programming. And the reason that I had 80 or so people jump onto my program, my online program from my affiliate right away, is one, because they really liked what I had them doing for 6 years at that point, but also because they despised what NCFit was doing for them. They're like, they just saw themselves get much less fit in what would have been about a month's time. They're like, hey, you have to help us. And that's why now I am pumping up my program, because I feel like I have to help people. I see TH written into a Reddit thread, and I can't help but just jump on this live stream. NCFit will get you good at slam balls and up downs, because Jason Cleeper doesn't even do burpees anymore. And that's what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about the lowest common denominator, we got the bell curve, we all the people. And I'm here because that's who my people are. That's who I would like to join. Or at least I would like the people on this side of the bell curve to aspire to be on this side of the bell curve. And you've got Jason Khalipa programming slam balls and up downs, relegating people to mediocrity for the rest of their lives. And the worst thing you could ever be is the same thing as everybody else, if not worse than everyone who would be doing a program like mine. Do I think that Grant has 14% body fat? Yeah, I think he does. I think he has had more, but at the moment he probably is about 14. Yeah, competing gym here does NC Fit, and I feel bad for the members. It sucks. Unless they're like happy as a pig and shit. Like if you go into that gym and you see people just having the time of their lives, then all of a sudden, potentially you're the person that's wrong. But I remember I've dropped into affiliates, and I'll use this example all the time. And there are a bunch of beach body moms in there, you know, like the moms who stay home all day and their kids go to school, and then they got their makeup on and they have their cool like Lululemon-y stuff, and they're rolling up in their Range Rovers and they're doing a 5x5 overhead squat. And it's one of those things where I'm like, really, CAP programming is great for some people and it's terrible for others, and it's terrible for that population of women. They while potentially the 5x5 overhead squat is good for them, they're still drinking wine 7 days a week at night. They're never going to stop. No matter how much you tell them to stop, they're never going to stop. And at which rate, the best thing you can do for them is make them feel as good about themselves as possible. And all you are doing by having them do a random 5x5 overhead squat, coached out the wazoo for the first 30 minutes of that class, is you're making them feel worse. Throw a spear at me as a CrossFit diehard, but you're making these women feel worse about themselves. And what happens when you make people feel worse about themselves when it comes to their fitness? I'm never going to get this overhead squat thing. My arms hurt when I go overhead. I don't want to do any amount of weight. They're going to quit doing fitness and they're going to never get any better ever. Any comments in here that'll get me riled up? HWPO is trash. But they got a lot of clients. It's interesting. It is interesting when people are trash, but then they have a lot of clients as well. Interesting. That's it. Kill Taylor, 1 minute. I'm getting off before they get on. Everyone head on over there. Thanks for showing up. Sign up for the program if you didn't already subscribe. That's it. See you later.